we have a very simple card today, but it uses some lovely elements. First of all, it uses paper from the Pansy Petals Designer Series paper, and it uses that's all it uses from the Pansy set. But I just want to show you the Pansy set because it's beautiful. We have the Pansy Patch dies, and that keeps going dark. Pansy Patch dies and the Pansy Patch stamps. Beautiful, but there's a lot of work to the Pansy Patch dies, and I didn't feel comfortable doing that live today, so hopefully next week for that one. But what else we're going to use, the other things, we're going to use the Painted Labels dies. Now they came with, I think it was the Poppy set last year, but they're still current, they're in the catalogue. And the Peaceful Moments stamp set, which has some lovely sentiments. Okay, so we're going to turn the camera down, so we'll see what happens. Okay, first of all we have whoops, yeah, we have one of the lovely new in colors. This one's called Fresh Freesia, and there are 5 beautiful new in colors. We have the Fresh Freesia in the middle. This one is Polished Pink. This one, which I think is going to be my absolute favorite, is Evening Evergreen, Pale Papaya, and Soft Succulent. Okay, so they're the new in colors, and what we're using is the Fresh Freesia cardstock today. And we have we're going to use a piece of gingham. I don't know where it's gone. Okay, we got another piece in here. Oh, there it is. This is out of the Pansy DSP, and it matches beautifully. These colours are all in this Pansy set, and it's gorgeous. The papers are to die for, they're beautiful. So we've got a piece of this, and we're going to cut this to 5 by 5, and then we're going to cut a piece of vellum to 4.5 by 4.5. We're going to try and emboss the vellum, so we're going to cut this gingham to 5 by 5. And then we're going to cut the vellum to 4.5 by 4.5. Let's put those off to the side. Now when I emboss the vellum, I'm going to put a piece of copy paper behind it, because the vellum tends to tear very easily. 4.5. Yep. The vellum tends to tear very easily when you put it through an embossing folder. It just seems to emboss right through it. So we're going to put a piece of copy paper behind it, just any old scrap of copy paper. I'm just going to cut a piece off. And then we'll run it through the embossing folder. Okay, so I just need to step aside for just a second. See what we get. So I'm gently peeling the vellum off, and you can see it sort of looks, let me see if I can show you on this cold mat, how it sort of looks white. It goes beautiful, it embosses beautifully. That's lovely, I'm happy with that. So I can start assembling the card. So I also have a piece of Whisper White, which is the Fresh Freesia, is 5.25 by 5.25. I have a piece of white which is 5 by 5 to go on the inside. Okay, we haven't done anything with that yet. We've got might stamp on it, I don't know. We have a piece of gingham which is 5 by 5, and a piece of vellum which is 4.5 by 4.5. So this we're going to just, I'm just going to run my bone folder. Where's my camera? I need to adjust this. That's better maybe. Yes, we've got more room to work. So all I'm doing is running my bone folder across the cut edge, because often when you use the cut edge, you know, when you cut the edge, the paper tends to turn up because of the weight of the blade going through on the cutter. All right, so I'm just straightening that and flattening it out, and I'm just going to pop this on here like this, off, not straight. I don't want it to be straight. tape runs out. Always does when you go live. I'm going to pop this on here. Hopefully I get it all on. Yeah, that's great. I don't really want it to be straight. I don't mind if it isn't. Then my vellum is going to go on top of that, and the vellum's going to go, you know, there again, off to the side. I think I'll turn the vellum this way so you can see a bit more of it. Now with vellum, if you put glue on the vellum, you're going to, like adhesive on the vellum, you're going to see right through, and you don't want to do that. Okay, you don't want to see the glue on the back of this. So what you do is you think where your embellishment or your sentiment is going to go, and then you put the glue there so that you're hiding the glue that's holding the vellum in place. So I'm going to put a piece of vellum, I'm going to just do this, and we've emptied another tape runner. We're doing great here today for tape runners. There. So I'm going to put this down carefully. No, I want it to go this way, I think. I think I want this to go this way. Now I know it's not held down at the corners. We may have to adjust that. We may have to just give in and put a little bit of adhesive there. When we're finished, we can lift it up and be very careful with it. The next thing we're going to do, we're going to take these dies, which are the painted labels dies, and we're going to use this one here. And we're going to cut out, oh man, that's sticky. Just put those there. We're going to take a piece of this paper, which is the out of the pansy set again, but it's got the small pansy flowers on it. It's beautiful. You can pick and choose where you want to cut your piece, but I don't think it really matters. It's all lovely paper. So let's just, oops. This die here is about 3 inches across, so I think I'll cut this just maybe 3 1/4. And I'm going to cut it carefully. I'm going to cut it down to 3 1/4, and then I'm going to turn my paper this way, line this end up at 3 1/4, and when I cut down, oops, wait a minute, where am I going? Let's turn it this way so you can see. Okay, so you see I've cut here at 3 1/4. I'm going to cut from the top down to 3 1/4, and I should feel this piece of paper here give and come out into my hand, just like that, if I've cut it right. There, just pop that over there. So there we have this lovely piece, and the die will fit perfectly on it. So this is the piece we've cut out. Okay, and if I put that there, then you can see it has sort of swirly pieces around the outside too. This you could keep because you could use that for a nice little mat for something. I'll just pop it to the side. So I'm going to put it with my flowers going the right way up. Okay, check my flowers. I want the flowers to be the right way up. I don't know which way is the right way up for pansies. I'll go on this way. I'm really pressing that down, and I know I'm pressing out the part that has been embossed, but it doesn't matter because it's under the card, but you really want it to stick to your card. You don't want that falling off, right? So then we're going to stamp a quick sentiment, and out of the stamp set is going to be the Peaceful Moments, and I think we'll just use the thank you stamp. This one. there. And I'm going to use the Evening Evergreen, yes, Evening Evergreen stamp pad. It's one of the new ones, and I'm just going to stamp it onto a piece of sea foam, soft sea foam it's called. And we're just going to cut it out and stick it to the side. Let's just cut this off. What do we got? Really, not up in the middle. That's about a good ½ inch. So if we put that on an inch, no, let's go further. We can always trim this again when we're after we're finished with it to make it even. Okay, so that looks pretty even right there. Top and bottom is what I'm looking at, and it looks pretty even right there. And I think I'm just going to trim it the same, about a ½ inch past the letters. Yeah, that's all I'm going to do with that. Keeping this nice and simple. And this card is actually oh yeah, that looks nice. This card is actually in the new catalogue, and it's on page 25, and I have sort of copied it. I made mine, I think, bigger than the one that's in the catalogue. What we got here? Dimensionals. And I'm putting extra dimensionals on because I don't want this falling off, you know, coming apart from the vellum again. Sticking everything to vellum here, and vellum is tricky to work with if you don't want to see what's behind it. So you sometimes have to put a bit of thought into working with vellum. So I'm going to make sure that this piece, these on the right hand side where it says, whoops, thank you, let me make sure my card's the right way up, yes, where I'm going to put this, I want at least one of these dimensionals to catch on the center circle. Okay, there you have it. Right, we have a 5-inch piece that we can put on the inside, and we can stamp something on there. So I'm just going to put this on the inside. Continuing my love-hate relationship with this new Stampin' Seal. I still struggle with it. I can't get it to work nicely for me. I just don't have the touch for it, I think. And I think we're coming close to the day where I have to admit that. So there we have it, one really pretty little card. It's got embossing, it's got a nice piece stamped out, it's got a nice sentiment. It's a pretty bright card. Okay, so let's just see if we can turn this camera up, and can we do this? Are we there? Yeah, I think we are. Right, and feel free to copy it. As I say, it's on page 25 in the new catalogue. You know, it's there for everybody to case. That's copy and share everything. Just make sure you said you saw it in the catalogue, or you saw me make it. You have to do one or the other. And as always, please use, if you're going to sell these cards, please use the Stampin' Up angel stamp, which just says copyright Stampin' Up. Alright, thanks for watching everybody, and I will talk to you all soon